Hi, I just want to talk to you about metrics for your goals. So I know that it's the new year. A lot of people are looking at, they set these very clear, specific goals. But if you want to track how you're going, how things are progressing, if you're really making any progress, and you're doing your goals, it doesn't matter if you're doing them in 90 days. I think goals in 90-day increments really kind of put your feet to the fire, and you don't have to wait till quarter 4 to see that you're not going to meet your goal. And so it is important that you have metrics, something that tells you that you can measure, something that has a number attached to it, that you can see every single week or daily. You can see, are you making progress? So these are just a few metrics, things that just kind of consider. This will kind of get the juices flowing, give you some ideas, and you can go back and say, okay, I can do these, I can measure these things. And so pounds or weight. So if you want to lose weight, if that is your goal for this year, you can start measuring pounds or weight. Maybe you get on the scale once a week, on a Saturday morning or whatever day it is for you. You get on the scale once a week, and then you track it. You write it down. So next week when you get on the scale, you know if you've lost weight or not. The next one is sales made. So how much have you made in sales? Have you made, 10,000 in sales? Have you sold 30,000 in sales? So you can track it. You can say, okay, today I've sold 30,000. If the goal is to sell, 200,000 by the end of the quarter, this is what your goal is. Or you have a daily goal that you set, and you're just tracking your daily sales to see how much you've sold for that particular day. Increase in income. And so you want to have, you want to know exactly how much your income is, no matter how you figure it, profits, net income, gross income. You want to have that wrote down, and then you want to see, weekly, is your income increasing or decreasing, or bi-weekly or monthly. You want to have a day that you look at every single month, the same day, and you see, okay, did my income increase or decrease for the month? And so we all want to be on the upward trend, right? We want to increase our income, but most of us don't even know what our income is. We assume that because there's money in the bank that our income is increasing, but it's all kind of variables to that. So look to see, is your income increasing or decreasing every single month if you don't do it, bi-weekly. Pages read. So if it's important to you that you read more this year, you finish so many books this year, start tracking the pages that you're reading every single day. So we can be fooled, right? We can think that we're reading a lot every single day or weekly, but when we start tracking the pages read, we really start seeing that we don't read but every 3 days. We read 1 page every 3 days, or and then we might read 10 pages. But we need to track, if it's important to you, you can track pages read. The next one is words written. So if you are an author, a writer, and your goal is to get published this year or to publish books this year, you have got to start tracking your words, your daily words. You should have a goal that you're trying to meet this quarter. Maybe it's 100,000 words, maybe it's 200,000 words, but you should have a daily count, a daily goal of what your word count should be. And so you need to track, how many words you're writing every single day. And I also like to see how long does it take me to write those words. So do I write 1,000 words in an hour? This is the only way you can really improve is when you start tracking to see how long does it take you to write 1,000 words? How long does it take you to write 2,000 words, or whatever your goal is? The next one is if you are in sales or business owner, the number of sales calls that you've made. So how many sales calls have you made? And then you can start seeing what your closing ratio is once you say, okay, how many sales calls did I make? How many appointments did I get? How many calls did I close? The next one is number of appointments. So how many appointments are you getting to go and see customers? So this is, maybe you're getting people on the phone, you're, selling the appointment. Then how many appointments are you getting? Once you get those appointments, how many of those appointments are you selling? Or are you getting to the next appointment? The next one is launches. If you're in business, how many launches are you doing per year? And then what are you selling in those launches? But you can really start tracking to see if you only launch once a year, that may be why your income is at 6 figures. And if you want to get to 7 figures, you got to launch more. So just track how many launches you have. And I like to do a debrief after lunch. So how did it go? What went well? What didn't go well? What changes do I need to make? Number of offers made. So if you are a business owner or a salesperson, you need to track how many offers are you making. So if you're doing live stream or video, how many times are you offering your product or service? If you're, at speaking engagement, did you offer your products and services? So how many offers are you making? Are you meeting people one-on-one, making offers? So track the number of times you're asking for the sale. The next one is, if you're an employee and you're applying for jobs, how many jobs are you applying to? And so I get people who tell me all the time they're applying to all these jobs. And then when they start tracking it, they realize they're only applying for 3, 4, 5 jobs instead of the 300 that they thought they were applying to. So looks can be deceiving. When you track, numbers don't lie. When you start tracking it, you really start to see where you are and what's going on, what you need to improve, what you need to, and what we know is what gets measured gets managed. So when we start tracking these things, these numbers will improve into our favor when we start tracking them. Number of friends requested. So this is if you're doing LinkedIn marketing, you're doing Facebook marketing, how many friends are you're requesting each day? Number of subscribers. This could be YouTube subscribers, Instagram, it doesn't matter. Are you tracking your subscribers? Calories burned. So if you're trying to lose weight, are you tracking the calories that you're burning? So if you go to the gym and you work out for an hour, you burn 600 calories. Are you tracking the calories that you're burning? Because sometimes all day, every day is not created equal, right? Some days you can go and work out at the gym and you only burn 200 calories. Some days you go 600, you burn 600 calories. So track the number of calories that you're burning each time you go. And I like to see, what am I doing when I burn more calories? What was happening? What machine was I on? All these different things. Date nights. If you're married, track the number of date nights that you're having per month. You can kind of see problems start to rise the less time you spend with your spouse. If you're not spending quality time with your spouse, you're more likely to have problems because you don't have that intimate time, that one-on-one time to talk about things that are happening, things that need to be discussed, that uninterrupted time. The next one is tracking how much time you're sleeping. So we can wake up in the morning and be grouchy and tired and not really know why. And the reason why is because we went 3 nights and we haven't slept. So track how much time you're actually sleeping. If you normally sleep 9 hours and you don't have to track this, it may not be important to you. But if you normally have, days during the month where you're not sleeping, you might want to start tracking your time and seeing how many days are you really going without sleep, or a good sleep, a reasonable amount of sleep. The next one is the number of quality conversations. So how many conversations are you having, quality conversations you're having every single month? This could mean, and this could translate into so many different things, but you want to be talking to a lot of people. You want to build relationships. You want to get used to talking to people, having conversations, asking questions, listening, seeing what other people are saying. I always say that you cannot learn anything if you're doing all the talking. And so you want to make sure that you're tracking, if this is important to what you're doing, your business or your work, you need to track the number of quality conversations. Also, it's good to know with our spouse, are we having quality time? Are we listening? Are with our children? Are we listening? Are we having good quality conversations? Not necessarily a long conversation, but was it a quality conversation where you were fully engaged, listening to what this person was saying, that your loved one was saying to you? The next one is amount of quality time. So how much time are you spending with your children? When you track it, you start seeing that you're not really spending as much time as you think that you are. It might be 10 seconds here, 30 seconds there. You're not really spending the actual time. And so I know that quality time is important, but it's also important to see, quantity. How much time are you really spending? Because we know if we don't spend a lot of time with our children, our spouse, then we miss things, right? The next one is number of calls made, and I might have said that one already, but number of calls made. If your job is to call to, make sales, then number of calls made. How many people are you getting on the phone? Text messages sent. So if you do text marketing, how many text messages are you sent to sell your product or service? How many text messages are you sending to invite people to your event, to your webinar, to your conference? Whatever it is, how many messages are you actually sending? A number of touch points. So if you are in business or sales, how many touch points does it take before you make a sale? Because we all need to know how long it takes. How long is our sales cycle? Is it 8 touch points? Is it 20 touch points? How many times do I have to be in contact with this customer? How many times do they have to see my post, or talk to me over the phone, or attend a conference, or see a video? How long does it take before they'll actually purchase my product or my service? The next one is number of happy days. And so we can go and be in a funk for a long time and just keep going. But when we see that we are having trouble, or we unhappy for 3 days, we need to start looking at, okay, what's happening in my life? What's wrong? What changes do I need to make? So look at how many days that you're happy. You're really enjoying your life. And if you're not, you got to start looking at, okay, what changes do I need to make? The next one is number of classes or webinars that you have attended. And so I believe in personal and professional development, and I know that it costs money. And so I always tell my clients 10% of your income should go to personal and professional development. And so you can start at 3%. You'll see a result. You'll see a return on 3%. But you want to make sure that you're spending time going to webinars, going to conferences, going to classes, and not just going, but going, taking notes, and then applying what you're learning from these events. Number of actions taken to achieve your goal. And so if you are just you just have a goal and you're not doing anything, you just got a wish. It's not something that you really want, because if it's something that you want or that you're committed to, you're going to take action every single day towards your goal. So when you track it, and so you can have just like a little bitty notebook and say, okay, I'm gonna write down every single day all the actions I took for my goal or my dream. And when you start seeing those days where you just have, a week and you only did one thing towards your goal, you have to start asking yourself, is this something I really want? Do I really want to achieve this goal, this dream? Because if I do, I need to start increasing my actions so that I can get to where I need to be to achieve my goal. The next one is expenses. And so if we don't track our expenses, they typically will balloon out of control. So we need to track what is it that we're spending our money on. Every single month, where does the money go? We need to track our expenses. The next thing is cost, which could be the same thing. This is business and professional. Return on investment. So whatever you're spending your money on, is there a return on investment? You want to make sure that you're not, that you don't have just liabilities that's taking your money, that you're investing in some assets as well. And this could be personal development. What's the return on investment on personal development? So if I spend 10% of my income, and let's say I make 6 figures, I spend 10% of my income on personal and professional development. That means that I go to a marriage conference, I go to a sales conference, I go to a business conference. And then from those things, do I have better relationships with my spouse? Am I making more money in my business? All these different things, what's the return on investment? And so all things being created equal, we got to make sure that we attend the events, but we actually are applying what we're learning, because going doesn't mean anything, right? We could just be going to be going. We need to take action. The next one is profit. If you're in business, how much is the profit? Track your profit. Is it, your profit's going up every month or down, or is it, stable or staying the same every single month? Look at the profit in your business. Number of days you went to the gym. So if you're trying to lose weight, are you tracking the number of days that you go to the gym? So if you're not tracking it, you could be fooling yourself. When you see it on paper, it's the truth. It's what you can't, the numbers don't lie. When you start seeing it, you only went to the gym once in January, you got to start saying, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? Number of proposals sent. So if you're in business and you send proposals out to corporations or companies, look at the number of proposals that you're sending. Can you double that amount of proposals? What are the results of those proposals? Are you sending 10 proposals only to get one accepted? You need to know what the closing ratio is on that. Hours you watch TV. This is important because you want to know where your time goes. So how many hours are you watching TV? So are your favorite shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Or are you watching TV Tuesday and Thursday, 2 hours? You want to know how many hours you're actually sitting in front of the TV. Hours on social media. How many hours are you spending on social media every single day? Hours on the subscriptions, so Netflix, Hulu, Disney, whatever these other things are. What are you spending your time? How much time are you spending on these things? Number of posts. So if you are in business and you post on social media, how many posts are you posting for each social media platform, or are you just focused on one? Whatever it is, you want to know how many posts are you posting per day, and which ones are your highest performing posts? Which ones are getting the most comments? Which ones are getting the most likes? The next one is water intake. So how much water are you drinking every single day? So I know that most people hate water, but water is super, super important for our health, and we need to be drinking lots of it. So track your water intake. Speeches given. Is this important to you in your business? How many speeches are you giving in a year's time? Books written in a year's time? What's the goal? If the goal is to write 4 books, where are you in that process? How many pages are you read? How many pages have you written, or how many words have you written? How close are you getting to, writing the book? But in order to write the book, you got to have words on paper. So you need to track the number of words that you're writing, and then, you'll see how many books. Based on that, you can see how many books you can finish in a year's time. Number of live streams. So if you're in business and you do live streams to make offers or to provide valuable content to your customers or your potential clients, track how many live streams you get, and then how many sales come from those live streams. The next one is webinars. So do you do a free webinar every single week, or do you do it every other week? You want to track this. How many webinars are you doing? And then what is the return on investment on those webinars? Are you making money? Are you not making money? You know, what are you, how many webinars are you doing? And then how much money are you making from those webinars? Tracking time. So we had 168 hours in a week. We need to know where the time goes. And unless we track it in a planner, we don't have any idea where the time goes. The time will get away from us every single time. Grades. If you're in school, you're working on your bachelor's degree, master's degree, or a PhD, look at your grades. Your grades tell you, how you're doing, how you're progressing. Days that you're consistent. So if you're working on something consistently, so let's just say, for example, you said, okay, I'm going to work out 25 days in the month. So you look at, okay, are you going to the gym consistently? Do you fall off on a certain day every single week? Are you consistent going to the gym? And you might have to look at, why are you going to the gym? Why is it so important? And it may help you help you on the days that you don't want to go. Days you prayed. And so this might be something that you track if it's important to you that you pray to God every single day. So look at days that you pray. You might look at the number of times that you prayed, not to track it, but to make sure that you're doing what you need to do as far as praying to God. Days that you read the Bible. So this is important. I believe that it's important, a daily habit that we all should have if you believe in God. And so we can track this. We can see how many days that we spend time in the Word of God. The next one is YouTube and email subscribers. So how many subscribers are you getting via YouTube, and how many subscribers are you getting via email? Is this important to you in your business? And so that's it. So these are just some ideas, things that you can do to track your goals, to see if you're on target. Just giving you some ideas. So I'm sure it has given you more ideas of things that you can actually track. But start tracking these things so you can see if you're making progress. You don't want to wait and then at the last minute you realize that there's no way you're going to meet your goal because you haven't made the progress. So numbers don't lie. So numbers help us to determine and how to help us get back on track. We can use the feedback and see, okay, what went well, what did not go well. So use some of these things, or use these things to kind of give you ideas on things that you can do to help you progress toward your goal.